punt.
Best offensive player and their best defensive player.
Welcome to the Outback the Endzone podcast. We have a special guest today. Looking forward to this one. We've been trying to tee this one up for a couple of weeks now. He is the great Chon. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name in Turkish, mate, because
That's okay.
I will stumble over my words a little bit. But a bit of a backstory. The second ever Turkish-born Division 1 professional athlete, college football player, long snapper, and founder of Xplosion Snapping. Chon, you've taken on one of the more unique paths of American football, going from the non-traditional football background and playing at the college level now, and helping now lead the next generation of specialists navigate the training recruitment. Appreciate you joining us today.
Oh, no, I appreciate you having me. Any opportunity I can get to help, fans from different countries in the world learn about the beautiful game of football, I'm here to break it down and explain it in the best way I can, my friend.
Something about us Aussies, mate, we absolutely love special teams, having the punter background. Have you come across any Aussies on your journey so far?
I have not been lucky enough to, because and I'm jealous that I haven't, because I see they're like usually 6'5", absolutely like jacked, ripping ball. Like I wish, I'm not gonna lie, I love the punters I've played with, no hate to them at all. But if I am trying to go pro, and if I end up with an Aussie punter, I definitely would not be disappointed. I'd be very excited. As a long snapper, most of you guys are so tall. You guys are great targets. I can throw that thing high and it'll still be caught looking good. So,
Mate, there's one thing about the Aussie punters over there. We love a good long snapper, and watching some of your highlights, mate, you're hitting them on the nipples every time. So we love to see that.
I appreciate that, my friend.
Well, Chon, we'll whip straight into your story, man. As I sort of touched on before, it's an absolute ripper. I guess I'd love to start where it all started for you. And it wasn't in America. It was over in Turkey, man.
It was over in Turkey. My story starts, I was born to, my parents definitely had the athletic background. My dad used to play for this soccer club in Turkey called Ankaraspor. My mom was always into gymnastics and stuff, but growing up, they chose, like, my dad's a doctor, my mom's an engineer, so they were very hard on me that, like, sports is good, sports can take you far, but education first, always. So, ever since I was a little kid and we moved here when I was about 5 years old, it was always grades first, whatever comes with football. And I think that primarily comes with the fact that foreign parents in the US didn't really understand how big college football really was. And like, if I would have told them that it's going to pay for my college and it's going to pay me like actual money, they would have probably been like, there's no way, that's not real. So that's some new stuff that college football has been, growing into and stuff.
Man, it's absolutely incredible. Like, we even have that over in Australia. Like, we love our sports, but I would say 99% of Australians don't even understand the scale of how big college sports is. Not just football, but sports in general, and what it can do for careers, which is why we're seeing more and more international players step in and start chasing that path, which is awesome to see. I guess, when did you start getting into football?
So I got in when I was around 7 years old out here. My mom just wanted me to kind of like get my energy out, and I was a bigger boy, and she was like, "Okay, like we can give this a shot." Many Turkish moms, it's like a big no-no because they don't really ever look into the sport. It's an automatic no. And I believe it or not, I have a few cousins from my dad's side. They live in Sydney, and one I think lives in Melbourne, one lives in Sydney, Australia. And I haven't been lucky enough to visit yet, but they tell me all the time about the AFL out there and
Yeah.
how it like. At first I thought it was rugby, and they almost tore my head off when I said
They
that,
would have.
because apparently it's not rugby. So the best way I can explain to some of our Australians fans watching on how big college football in the United States is, I would look at it like, imagine you're 18, you're finishing up your high school, getting ready for uni, and a school basically kind of like the AFL, right? You're going to be playing in front of 100,000 plus people usually in some of these bigger schools. You're going to be getting paid. Some of these college players at 17, 18 years old are making a few $1,000,000 just from endorsement deals alone.
Mm.
And it's just like, it's kind of hard to understand, because it's not the pros, but somehow it's bigger and generates more money than the pros because there's so many more games going on, and these games are actually like, having more fans in them than NFL stadiums. Kind of hard to explain because it just doesn't make sense, but that's just
Yeah.
how college football is in the US.
Mate, it is so crazy. Like every time I try and sort of explain it to an Aussie that doesn't follow it, I'm like, these guys play in front of a bigger stage than the AFL every single week. They're playing in front of 100,000, 115,000, like bigger than the grand final of the AFL sport. So it is completely mind blowing, but it's so awesome. It's starting to get some more exposure now. Um, I guess, man, your position as a long snapper, how did you discover long snapping?
So long snapping was a fun one to discover, right? It's I think the biggest thing about American football that is like overlooked a lot is size. And, people are going to tell you size doesn't matter. The coaches are going to tell you that all the time. In reality, like size does matter 100%. And I remember I was in high school and I wanted to be a Division 1 athlete so bad. I was like 15, 16. It was like my one big goal. And my parents, they were supportive, but they were like, oh, like we're not 100% sure if you can actually do this. And I was, I'm 5'9". I don't know, in Australia, do you guys use centimeters for height?
We do use centimeters, but 5'9", most people know what you're talking about. So you're
Okay,
pretty
yeah,
sweet there.
so I was about 5'9" at the time, not the biggest kid, and I always thought like I had a chance until I remember I was 15 years old. Under Armour had their UA Next All America camp at my high school. And my coach, because it was at my high school, like he got 2 free passes to, even if you're not an All American, just because it's getting hosted, to give. And he didn't give me the pass. And I felt very like heartbroken over it. It wasn't a specialist camp. It was just like an everybody camp. And I just went to go watch. And I remember like seeing these kids, and I was playing offensive line at the time. I remember seeing these kids that were my position at my age. They were like 6'5", 320 pounds plus, just absolutely humongous. And these are kids, like these are 15, 16-year-old kids getting called up by $1 million schools. And that day, I was like, wow, like if I want to make it D1, like it's not going to be on the field as an O lineman or running back. I'm not fast enough. So I had to figure out, what can I do? I'm not good at kicking a ball, but I'm really good at throwing a ball. I was like, what can I do? So I really thought deep and long about it. And thankfully, my coach in 7th grade for like Pee Wee football, he had taught me how to long snap. It's just something I was doing for fun because I had to do it. And I think him teaching me how to long snap was the best thing he could have done for me, because I remember that day, that moment, something just clicked. And I was like, wow, like if I just like give everything I have into snapping this ball 15 yards, maybe this could be like my only shot up. And for me, that was, I just had to keep it realistic with myself. I'm a smaller guy. I'm good at this. I'm just going to get amazing at this one thing. So.
Mate, that is so funny. I literally had the biggest light bulb moment. Like this story was giving me like a weird hit of deja vu. And it was from the NFL host of Red Zone, Scott Hansen. We were lucky enough to catch up with him and have a meet and greet. And he has literally a very similar story. He went on to play Division 1 college football as a long snapper as well. So it's that's so funny, yeah.
At some point, it just, I saw the camps and I saw that like there's a very good opportunity here if I just stick with it. And after a while, like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I think anyone can pick up how to long snap. Just me being completely honest. If someone started tomorrow at 16 years old and was like, I'm gonna get amazing at long snapping, and they dedicated the next 2 years, you'll probably go D1. Like I really don't see why not. There's room for a lot of people to eat in the specialist community, so.
Absolutely love that. But the key word you said there is dedication. Like, I think you're right. A lot of people could do it, but not a lot of people would have the dedication to say, hey, this is my goal. I want to play Div 1. I'm humble enough to admit that I'm not going to be a running back in Division 1
Yeah.
level. So I'm going to commit to the craft and sit there long snapping it hours and hours every day to become good enough to actually do it. So, mate, you got to take your hat off to you there. I think that's absolutely awesome. I'd love to follow up with the recruitment process. So, when you did make that decision saying, hey, I'm going to chase long snapping, what happened after that?
So I'll explain how I got to where I am now. I have one of the craziest college football stories. And for some of my Aussie fans out there, you know, like this is not really how you're supposed to do it. Because of factors like COVID and a lot of other things, my recruiting. So I'll basically start it off. In America, you're supposed to go to high school for 4 years. And then you go to uni. So a lot of times people are 18, 19 graduating. My high school gave me an option if I took accelerated classes to finish in 3 years. And during my last year, we literally got shut halfway down because of COVID. So I was legit in high school for 2.5 years. And I graduated at 7. I graduated pretty young. So I was very small at the time. I had gone to a few camps the year before. I'd played football. I just was nowhere good enough to be a D1 athlete. That's when COVID came. My first 2 years, my first year I didn't play any football. I don't even think there was a season at my school, Southeastern. The second year, I went and tried out, got on their spring team, and I got cut. I got out of a very weird 2-year relationship. I hadn't played ball in a while, and this is where things got really weird. I was contacted by a school in California named Lincoln University. And they were telling me that they were a brand new Division 1 program. You know, everything they were saying was making sense. They were saying they're going to take over the Oakland Raiders facilities. They're going to be traveling all 12 games on the road, just to raise some money. And I get out there and like I just see that it's like a full on, like it's not like a full on scam because the school is a real school. It was a very small school of 400 people, but the football team, basically what it was the coach was getting paid. All our 12 games would be like homecoming games, family game, like games where they're paying us to beat the crap out of us. And let's say they paid our coach 150, 200,000 a game. He was just basically like, okay, if I can find a way to get these 50 men there in like for like 60,000 to cover food, hotel, all that, then I can pocket the other 140,000. So he was just playing games, and we were a part of a scam. I realized that I couldn't get out of it, so I enrolled back at my university in Louisiana online while playing at this like scam school. After playing these real Division 1 schools, I would literally go up to coaches and I would beg them, like, please give me an offer. Like, this is a scam school. Like, this is not good. And lucky enough, we were playing the school I went to, Southern University. Eventually, one day we were playing them for their homecoming. I remember that day, like, it was in front of, like, 35,000 people for homecoming. We get, like, the crap beaten out of us, but I had a great game. And, you know, for me, and we punted a lot, I had a great game. I went to the coaches. I was like, "Please, like, I'm from Louisiana. I would love to play for this team." And after the season ended, they reached out and they ended up giving me, a scholarship to come play over here. So my journey was a little weird. My biggest thing was I never had the heart to break it to my parents that the school that I went to in California was a scam. So I was over here trying to like fulfill this fake life while trying to take care of business and get my degree back home. Just an absolute crazy story. If you guys want to hear more about it, USA Today, the major news channel, does have an article with me in it and a few other players. So if you want to really get into detail, that story is covered on there as well.
Mate, that is absolutely incredible. I'm definitely gonna have a read of that one, I think, afterwards. But what was the fallout? Did anything ever happen to that coach in the school?
So that coach, his name is Desmond Gums. He was also like wanted for fraud in California for this like streaming service he started. He's just a very, very like sketchy, fraudulent man. The thing is, he does things that like the thing is nobody in college football thought you could do this because it's like no one would think that someone would even think to do something like this. So there's no rules. He like California also, by the way, is a very relaxed state. They don't like unless you like straight up murdered someone, their jails are full, man. They don't have time to just bring people in for petty crimes or I'm
Mm,
guessing even fraud like this. Unless you really like killed someone, the police I guess aren't coming after you. So he's been in this, he just lives on and everyone knows he's a scam artist. It's crazy that this man, they did shut the program down last year, after they got like I mean, we would get beat, but I think Idaho State like took them down 91-0. And that's when like all the news outlets started to get on it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. I guess it's like you do have to be aware of that stuff. Like I know in Australia we have like a great program called Pro Kick where they handle that whole side of things of getting you sorted with a school, and they do all the yards and make sure they get you sort of go through the correct process. But is that anything like that in America? Or is it all just when you're in your position, is it sort of go find the school for yourself?
Man, America, it's so weird to explain how it works here because it's like um college football, even though everyone does have an opportunity, I'd say, just like other part, it's become very capitalistic in the sports
Mm,
world. What I mean by that is like either you have like some of these schools, they either have it all where everything's handled for them, or if you went to public school like I did, which isn't private, you kind of have to like handle everything on your own and figure
mm,
it out. And that's where it sucks for some of the kids who didn't grow up with like lots of money to just handle all the little things. It's another reason why I believe that like soccer or football, in everywhere else in the world isn't big in the US because it's just turned into such a sport where if you don't have money to play it, it's good luck finding an organized league for it. It's harder for people who aren't like super rich. Yeah, and same thing goes for recruitment in the US too, I could say.
yeah, that's very interesting. Well, man, I guess I'd love to continue the story on from when you accepted the scholarship at Southern University. What was that first year
Yes.
there like?
Man, it was oh man, it was crazy. It's so Southern University is a part of an HBCU conference, which is a historically Black culture university. And the games that we play in are just insane. You'll have bands. Our band is one of the most famous bands in the world, the Human Jukebox. For anyone who hasn't heard their music, it is amazing. You guys have to go check it out. And playing real D1 football, it was everything I thought it to be. Playing in some of like the craziest stadiums in the world. Um, I'd say even just living in the Baton Rouge area, getting to see I live about like 10 minutes from Tiger Stadium, and sometimes I'll just go walk over there just to see. It's just so beautiful to look at. Like it's so random. I'm in a little college town and there's like a 105,000 seat stadium right over there. I'm a
Far
huge fan of stadiums. Um and matter of fact, I'll give you my top 5 American football stadiums here in the US.
love it.
Um, if I had to go with the first hardest one to play, I'm not saying this because I live here. I genuinely believe Death Valley here is probably the hardest place to play against LSU. I've been to their game days. I've never gotten to actually play against them, but that heat and that many screaming fans and that band, it gets pretty crazy. If I had to go number 2, I'd give Penn State number 2 up north in, Pennsylvania. I'd give my number 3, believe it or not, to the Big House in Michigan. It's not
Love
known
that.
for being crazy loud, but it's one of the biggest stadiums in the world. It's the biggest stadium in the US, and as a player, I mean, people will say, "Don't let it get to you," but, like, you definitely notice all the people there. Like, there is no just, like, "Don't let it get to you," so I
Mm,
definitely believe yeah, they're definitely up there. Ooh, number 4, I'd probably throw Alabama in there. They dominated college football as a whole my whole time growing up. And then number 5, I'd probably throw the Tennessee Vols. A lot of people will disagree. They'll have their own list on how, the hardest environments or hardest stadiums to play in. From my personal experience and what I've seen, I'd say those are like the top 5 hardest stadiums to play in college football.
mate, that is a great list. I cannot wait to get over to Death Valley one day and experience a game there.
You have a friend over here now, bro. Whenever you want to come stay, dude, let me know. We can totally make it happen. We can
Mate, that would
totally
be
arrange.
epic. We are heading over to the States in November, so maybe we can try to tee that one up. We might have to send a leg down south to come visit, mate, because that sounds genuinely epic. And I'm like
We
you, mate. I love a
totally should do
stadium.
that. We
100%, bro.
totally should do that.
100%. That would be epic. Um, Mate, I guess I'd love to know in your experience, do you have any like crazy college entrances experiences? Like what was the stadium that you played at that was like blew your socks off?
I'd say the stadium that really for me did it, and this I think the craziest place I've played, um, I was in the Superdome.
Yeah.
Back against we play. My school, Southern University, we have this game called the Bayou Classic at the end of the year, and we play it against Grambling State, and we get to play it in the Superdome. Which that was a dream come true for me, being able to raise that trophy in front of all those fans. I grew up in New Orleans, so being able to come back home, play in front of my family and friends, and even though I was technically, this was the part of the season where I was hurt, just being able to like raise that trophy and being on the field and like, I don't know, having all my friends in the stands, it was a crazy feeling. It was a crazy feeling. Definitely a top 5 feeling, and definitely the craziest place. Now, if you want to hear a crazy story, when I was at Lincoln University, since there was no structure for these games, we would fly in to cities. Like we would fly in from California, and mind you, we wouldn't fly as a team. The way he would do it is he just buy you your own separate tickets, and we'd all just land and meet up together, whatever city we're going to. I remember one night we landed in Nashville. Nashville is one of the biggest party cities in America, right? We landed in Nashville. We go out and absolutely get, I mean, hammered in Nashville. Next morning, off 4 hours of sleep, I wake up. I'm like, oh, we played Tennessee State today. That was pretty cool. We pull up to the Titan Stadium, Nissan Stadium in downtown Nashville. That was crazy as well, by the way. Like an 85,000 person stadium. That was wild to play there. It get absolutely blown out. And then right after the game, we fly right back to California. And that was just what it was like to be. It was like living in Blue Mountain State.
Yeah.
The TV show was what Lincoln was like. I feel like no college athlete has a story like that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to find that.
I'm yet to hear one like that. Just roll in, get hammered at night out in Nashville, play at an NFL stadium, fly back home the next day. What a weekend! Oh,
I'm
mate.
telling you, I think they'll like that one. I think the views and the viewers will like that one. I think that one's a little different.
That's epic, man. And just to loop back to the Superdome, one of the loudest stadiums, if not in the world, let alone the NFL. Did you grow up a Saints fan as well?
I did grow up a Saints fan, man. I love the Saints. Now I try not to pick any teams because I always have that sick hope that maybe one day I'll make it. But I did grow up a Saints fan. Superdome was definitely we actually had, I believe, the Saints locker room, and I don't know whose locker I specifically got, but it was just really cool to see how they treat the NFL players. But it's crazy to loop back into the college sports thing. Yeah, although it was really nice, I would definitely say that there are like many college teams with better facilities than NFL teams, which just shows you like how big,
Big.
college football is in America. Like you'll have, I think LSU honestly, in my opinion, has a nicer, not only gym, like a weightlifting gym, but they have a nicer recovery area, just overall nicer football building than the Saints do. I grew up, by the way, right next to the Saints training facility. It's located in Metairie, a little town outside of New Orleans, and it's nice, but it's really not anything that special. It just shows you another crazy fact that looping back into college football, comparing it to the NFL. Believe it or not, the top earners, like your quarterbacks that might get a third string role in the NFL, they sometimes will choose to play an extra year of college football instead of going like after the third year into the NFL because they will actually make more money in college than transitioning to the NFL. Let's say you have a third year quarterback who's playing amazing. He can go to the NFL if he wants. That college is probably going to give him they're going to let him start in front of thousands of people for 13, 14 weeks. He's going to get paid $3, $4 million, everything taken care of, or he can rush, go to the league, I mean, which is cool, but realistically, they're going to put him on like an $800,000 first year minimum. He's going to be
Mm,
third string. He's going to be forgotten about because nobody's going to mention his name for a long time.
mm,
So they think of it in like a financial way, and they think, okay, even if I don't make it pro anymore, at least I made a few more $1 million that I probably might have not even made in the NFL.
mm,
So it's changed from the mentality for some athletes have even changed from I got to get to the NFL, I got to get to the NFL to where it's just sometimes like, you know what? Like I'm 20 and I'm a millionaire and if I make the NFL, that's cool. But if not, like, I'll stay another year here and make as much money as I can while I'm in the spotlight. So it's definitely changed a lot in the past few years. The
Ma-
hunger level, I'd say.
It makes so much sense. So much sense. And like I think that's just gonna help college football get bigger and bigger, especially on the international stage. Man, something I've really wanted to ask you today is the pressure of being a long snapper. It is very similar to being a punter in the sense that if you make a good play, doesn't necessarily get talked about so much. If you make the perfect snap, you're not going to see a highlight of it on ESPN. But if it's the opposite, it could be completely different and you might be in the blooper reel on ESPN. So how do you deal with that like sort of pressure of just having to do your job perfectly 100% of the time?
Yeah, they tell us, we have a very simple job for a reason. You just snap that ball 15 yards and, excuse my French, just don't F it up, don't mess it up. Make sure that your one job is complete. Our main mission, especially I work with special teams U. Our biggest thing when I was working with my coach, Coach Stelter, our motto is go unnoticed. It is literally to go unnoticed. Long snappers, I think we are definitely the most unnoticed position on the field. Because even if I get punter kickers, like they'll get shamed when they don't make a long field goal,
Mm,
but sometimes they'll have to kick like an insanely long field goal, and they'll make it, and they'll get a lot of praise for it. And if they miss it, well, it's okay because it was like a 70-yard kick. Same with a punt. You'll get noticed if it's a bad punt, but with
mm.
like a great punt, they'll recognize you. They'll be like, "Wow, that he sent him back 75-yard punt with a 5-2 hang." Like sometimes they'll give you credit. For a snap, you can throw the most perfect snap, get down there, make a tackle. You can do everything like grade A. And that's just like all they saw was a punt operation executed, someone got tackled. They'll say, "Oh, tackled by Ulusan." That's it. They probably won't even throw the fact that you're a long snapper in there. So our biggest thing is to go unnoticed. Whether that brings pressure or not, I guess it determines on the person. My biggest thing was like, of course, I mean, I was nervous. Of course, I would get the butterflies because I cared. I would just trust my hours and hours of just repetition of doing it over. And my biggest thing was like, when it was my time to go, like there is no like if, ands, or buts. Just like put your helmet on, don't second guess it, just go out there and throw that ball. And luckily, like knock on wood, I've never had one fly over the punter's head. So,
What a man, what a
but
man.
happens to the best of us. So I've seen it happen a lot.
I was going to say we had Jack Burgess, who's the punter at Texas Tech. He previously was at Weber State, and he'd have told us a story in a game where the long snapper snapped it over his head 5 times in a game.
5 times. That is he actually broke the FCS record for most safeties that game. Their long snapper. He made history. Yep, not in a good way, but he made history.
But a lot the coach kept backing him in, kept putting him in out there. Oh,
I find that story very intriguing because yeah,
mm,
he not only did he get like 5 safeties, they never threw long snapper number 2 in the game. And believe it or not, that kid, they kept him like 2
the whole
years
season,
after,
yeah.
never messed up again. Like he just had that one bad game, and I mean that just shows you how much like special teams can be more mental than physical, if anything,
Mm,
because you think we're not doing anything on the sideline the whole time. And physically, we probably aren't. Physically, I'm maybe snapping 5 times, you know, every quarter just to stay kind of warm.
mm,
But like we're like my heart is like pounding every time it's third down. Like, and I'm like, holy crap, like, all right, get ready. Like we probably about to have to go in. The worst is like when it's like third down and 17, your quarterback gets sacked. It's now like 4th and 30, and the crowd's going wild, and you just got to go in there, and they're getting all hyped to block the punt. Like that's the absolute worst. But it's definitely more of a mental thing and staying ready than actually physically doing anything. Kind of like baseball too, in a way, if you think about it. More just staying ready for something to happen.
yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I love that. I love to hear that like you've put that like the pressure on yourself, the heart's racing, going out there, just to get the job done. Because yeah, I think everyone can relate to that to some sense. I'd love to sort of now talk about your progression after finishing your college career now? You mentioned you're still chasing the dream, you're still chasing to be a professional long snapper. What does that look like for you? What's your like day to day?
So my biggest thing is like of course, going pro is always a dream, but it's never to be like it's never to like make it everything to where you can't enjoy like see the whole other picture of life. You know what I mean?
Mm,
The simple truth is like only 0.1% make it to the NFL. Um, and I don't. I know it sounds so soft in many people's ears to hear this, like, but like sometimes it's okay if you didn't make it pro. Take what the game has given you. My biggest thing right now is I'm trying. I had a tryout with this team. They're starting a new football league. It's called the APFL. It's kind of like a
okay.
spring league, a farm league, if you will. So I think it went really well. So I'm gonna try with them. They're gonna be playing their games at Southern University. So it's gonna be like I didn't even leave. That's gonna be really nice. Other than that, uh, I I think I try to sit there and really understand how far football has gotten me. It's gotten me my college degree, which for free. I didn't pay a single dime, and there's thousands of kids going into thousands of dollars of debt,
Mm,
and I didn't have to do that, which was really nice. I got a large following out of it on Instagram, so I use that to promote content now, and I kind of have my own little hell yeah, dude, bro niche, if you will, that I try to like target as much as I can. And I work two jobs. I serve tables and I sell cars on the side as well. My biggest thing is I train every day. I lift, I snap, and I run. I'm huge into running. I run like at least 35 to 45 miles a week. I'm sure to train like every day. I put up around 2 3 hours a day to make sure I get my training in. Um, and while balancing out a normal healthy life with everything football has brought to me as well, I'd say.
mate, that is absolutely incredible. I love the work ethic, wherever direction that takes you, whether that be professional, whether it be business, whether it be anything, whether it be on social media, you just know that you're going to have success when you talk about how much work you're putting in there. So, mate, that is absolutely incredible. And is it Explosion Snapping? What was the name? Is that your business?
Yes, Xplosion Snapping is a business I have started. I'm getting I just hired a few people to tweak up my website a little bit, then put it back up live. I have about 5 clients right now that I train monthly, and because I am a newer coach, um, I do believe in ticket sales for growing subscriptions eventually. I have a goal with that. My first thing before I get into selling this course and everyone, which I'm building day by day, my biggest thing was kind of work with I have a few high school kids. I have 2 kids in college. One of them being Southern University's long snapper. They're one that came after me, my good friend Connor. And my goal right now is to really just focus on them because they are my blueprint. They are who is going to reflect when they are playing, hopefully in college, some of my younger kids on me. So right now, I kind of want to learn the ropes of coaching, get a feel for it before I start, spamming, oh, this is my course, come on, monthly. I kind of want to learn the ins and outs of it first before I jump into it, I guess.
That's epic, mate. That's epic. Putting in the work. I I I think it'd be awesome because I did have a look and you do virtual coaching as well.
Yes, yes, that is one thing I'm adding on there. That is the course that that I am currently putting together because it is a
Gotcha.
very different game
Mm,
when I have you one on one versus when I have you online. Um, it's definitely easier, to train one on one because I can see everything down to how you're snapping a football. So I'm still working on getting. There's an app called OnForm that I'm saving up to do like a kind of a contract with. And how it works is it kind of breaks down every muscle movement in the body. So I'll be able to better tell my clients. It won't just be them sending me a video on email how I was previously doing it. I'll actually be able to see how each muscle is moving. Is what this app OnForm claims. So I'm working with them to hopefully build an online package for that as well.
well, that's wild, mate. If I think that's such a great way for a potential international or American person to get involved and chase a similar dream that you have, to play at the Superdome, play at NFL stadiums, play in front of 100,000 people. It doesn't have to be playing quarterback or running back. You could just get out there as a long snapper if you're not born with the same, if you're not born 6'7" and 300 pounds like most of us aren't. So,
Yeah.
mate, there's
Life is all about side quests, man. That's the way I look at it. Just what life being like one huge side quest to just go out there and get as many accomplishments raked in as you possibly can, and that's really just what I'm trying to do with life currently. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, football, I think more than anything has taught me the mentality on just getting after life and dominating it more than anything. I'd say the biggest thing, my goal as a 24-year-old now is just like football is awesome, but I want to use it to kind of just dominate life and not only make as much money as I can, but just like the connections like this and just the game brings so much more than just playing it. It just brings people together, and I'd love to get deeper into that community now.
That's so cool, man. I think that's such a great note to end on. Your story, mate, so inspiring. Genuinely inspired me. I think it's going to inspire a lot of people. And I can see a way in maybe 5 years' time, where maybe it's 2 years' time, where your business and your coaching program is genuinely helping give people the same opportunities that you were blessed to chase down and you were blessed to put in the work and achieve. So I think that's awesome. Is there anything you wanted to end on?
Oh, I also just wanted to thank you for, having me on here. And I see what you're doing with your channel, and I see how rapidly you guys are growing. I've been viewing your stuff from over the past year, and I just, I love how you're just expanding such a beautiful game into another beautiful country in Australia. And I do plan to visit in the next year. My aunt and uncle live down there, so
True.
would love to maybe do something when I'm out there. I'd love to potentially get into that. And likewise, when you come out here, feel free to hit me up. Can definitely make something happen.
Let's hit that up both ways, mate. I think we could tee up some pretty cool collaborations for the community either way. So definitely let us know, mate. I'm going to let you know when we're over there as well, because that would be awesome to tee up. Well, where can the people find you, mate, across social media?
Yeah, so my Instagram handle is at king._.chon. That is my Instagram channel. Have a little bit of everything on there if you like to follow me and like the content I make. For all my fans that are more into, oh, by the way, Xplosion Snapping is also in my bio for any young athletes that want to train. Feel free to DM me and reach out. As far as college football goes, I do have a complete separate page where I post most of my football stuff, or if I post college football stuff on my main channel, I'll add that page in there. That is called Chon and Cruz Media. I don't know if you've seen that page on my channel.
I haven't seen that
Um,
one.
I have a separate TikTok for it too. That page I'm taking day by day. I'll send you the link. My TikTok does pretty well on it as well. And I just that's all where I post all my college football content. It's like a huge college football nerd channel where I show love to a lot of smaller schools. And right now I'm actually doing a series on there reviewing every college football team in America so you don't have to, where I'm literally reviewing each and every 900 college football teams in America. And the platform, I do one FBS, one FCS, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO. And I'm on episode 17 right now. I'm trying to post at least once a day. And I go in that format, and I have this whole list I'm going down. I have Gemini, my chat, it's like my AI assistant that has the blueprint for the series. So that's for all my college football nerds. It's very boring statistical data
That's
videos.
me. That's me.
So
I'm going to be tuning into that.
oh, of course, yes, and of course, I'll definitely be tuning into everything you post as well, and I'll show as much love as I can, my friend.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, appreciate everyone listening to this story. Make sure you go give King Chon a follow. Mate, we wish you all the best with everything going forward. We can't wait to catch up in person.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for having me, my friend. Much love to you guys out there in Australia. Love and peace, my friends. Thank y'all so much.